Today, I am going to show you how to win the new Loudness War. Did you even know a new one had started? Well, the entire scope of things has changed completely, and it is obvious no one has told you because you're still mastering your songs to -6 or 7 LUFS, thus killing your record and actually making it playback lower on streaming. Now, there is more than one thing that contributes to overall loudness, but today we are going to focus on streaming loudness normalization because it is having the biggest impact on you today and you don't even understand it. Here in Pro Tools, we have the same exact song, but they all have different LUFS readings. This one at the bottom is -14. As you can see in the comments over here, I've annotated them and as well on the clips. -14, -12, -10, -8, and -6. We'll take a listen to them really quickly and we'll hear how, as we'd expect, the song gets louder as the LUFS increases. We can also see what's happening as the song is getting louder. You see it's more sausagey. So let's start at 14 and we'll go up and we'll hear how it gets louder as we'd expect.
And that's my so you know I really got him. He kept on flexing on the gram, that's why they robbed him. He be posting money, he don't give a f, they watching. I'm trying to find my way home, but this a long ride. I done seen some crazy shit, now I got dark eyes. I ain't really wanna text you through them hard times. I seen your picture on the gram and I sent hard eyes. I know I should've told.
As we'd expect. Now, one would say, oh man, it's getting better, it's getting bigger, it's getting fuller, it's more punch, it's louder. That's what we think, right? I'm not going to give any opinions or anything yet. Let's see what happens if we normalize it for streaming. So I have another playlist under here and it's all of these same exact songs normalized. As you can see, the waveforms look quite similar. It's just turned up or down. And you can already notice some things about these waveforms. You could just take a look at them and see, oh, well, this -6 one actually looks a little lower than the -8 one. And maybe this -8 one actually kind of looks a little lower than the -10 one. And maybe this -10 one actually looks a little lower than the -12 one. This -14 one. What? Isn't this fascinating? All right, but let's just take a listen because we have to listen with our ears. So again, we'll start at -14 and we'll go up.
You know we on it, we came up from the bottom. And that's my so you know I really got him. He kept on flexing on the gram, that's why they robbed him. He be posting money, he don't give a f, they watching. I'm trying to find my way home, but this a long ride. I done seen some crazy shit, now I got dark eyes. I ain't really wanna text you through them hard times. I seen your picture on the gram and I sent hard eyes. I know I should've told you.
Now, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments because we're just getting started. We just started cooking, okay? We just put a little oil on the pan. Put your seatbelts on. We finna go for a ride on this video. Now let's share some thoughts. Obviously, when we were listening to the previous playlist of songs where it just goes up as we expect, you hear the song just get louder and it sounds like it's getting fuller. It's more exciting, more density, all of that stuff, right? When we come to the other playlist, when things are normalized for streaming, some things that I noticed very quickly is all of the distortion in this -6 one is way more apparent. I'm also hearing how the drums and the impact of everything is getting much smaller. It just sounds smashed now. I don't get tricked by the effect of the song getting louder to think that it sounds bigger and better and it's punching more. The louder we go, it sounds smaller. Isn't that fascinating? Let's compare 14 to -8.
Oh no, you know we on it, we came up from the bottom. And that's my so you know I really got him. He kept on flexing on the gram, that's why they robbed him. He be posting money, he don't give a f, they watching. I'm trying to find my way home, but this a long ride. I done seen some crazy shit, now I got dark eyes. I ain't really wanna text you through them hard.
Isn't that crazy? The -6 sounds like a rough mix that somebody who just didn't know what they were doing just smashed it and totally destroyed the song. And -14 sounds like, oh, let me just remove all of your nonsense crazy work that you did and I'll reveal the actual song to you. You can hear the punch of the kick. You can actually hear the drums more. Massive difference. Okay, now let's come closer. Let's go -12 to -8.
You know we on it, we came up from the bottom. And that's my so you know I really got him. He kept on flexing on the gram, that's why they robbed him. He be posting money, he don't give a f, they watching. I'm trying to find my way home, but this a long ride. I done seen some crazy shit, now I got dark eyes. I ain't really want
similar effect. Let's try -10 and -8.
You know we on it, we came up from the bottom. And that's my so you know I really got him. He kept on flexing on the gram, that's why they robbed him. He be posting money, he don't give a f, they watching. I'm trying to find my way home, but this a long.
Now there is something interesting. -10 sounds the loudest out of all of them. It definitely sounds louder than -8, and all of these sound better than -6, so we kind of just realize that that's just crazy work right there. So let's compare -10 to the rest of them.
No, we on it, we came out from the bottom, and that's my so you know I really got him. He kept on flexing on the gram, that's why they robbed him. He be posting money, he don't give a they watching. I'm trying to find my way home, but this a long ride. I done seen some crazy shit, now I got dark eyes. I ain't really wanna text you through them hard times. I seen your picture on the gram and I sent hard eyes.
There's a lot of similarities from -10 and -12. Like from 12 and 14, things get a little more open, it feels less condensed. But you hear how -10, 12, and 14 aren't drastic differences. But -10 is still quite loud and quite a good amount of limiting. So why is this happening, you may ask? Let me show you. We're going to go to our trusty friend yet again, Isotope RX. Here I have preloaded each song, 14, 12, 10, 8, and 6. Now on the right we have some modules. The modules you want to pay attention to for this is Loudness Optimize and Streaming Preview. These are the two modules that are critical to understanding the loudness situation on streaming and how your song will play back on streaming. First, we're going to talk about Loudness Optimize. I could get really technical and in the weeds about this, but this is basically the algorithm that streaming will use to turn your song up or down. And this dashed line right here is called the relative gate. You see there's a percentage measured right here. It only measures the portion of your song that is above this dashed line, and this will give you your integrated LUFS of the entire file. That's the measurement they're taking into account in order to decide what to do with your file. So as you can see, if I click on all of these, first one is -13.83, -11, so around -12. They're all around, you know, the numbers. I couldn't get it exactly, but tried to get it close for y'all. -8, and then the last one, -6. It was 6.75. I was going for -6, but it sounded too crazy and too distorted, and it was just like, okay, this is good enough for the video. So with this dashed line, depending on how much of your song is above or below the line, it will affect your reading. So this is what you want to use to get an accurate reading of how your integrated LUFS will be measured on streaming. And there are things you can do to potentially get a more favorable LUFS reading so that streaming doesn't turn your song down too much. In this case, I could have had this outro not fade out and just play longer so that I can get more of this above this line right here. Now, the loudness war is not about actually being loud, it's about understanding the streaming algorithm. So there are subtle things you can do to finesse the algorithm, but one thing for sure that's not finessing the algorithm is having your song at -6 or -7 LUFS. As you can see earlier from the previous examples, you are getting penalized for being that loud. They're turning you down significantly. And it is also affecting how people hear your song, because if I hear a song that was optimized for loudness on streaming and I hear all the punch in the drums and all the excitement of the music, and then your song comes on and it's -7, -6 LUFS, all of that is gone because I don't hear where it was. I just hear how it sounds on streaming, and it sounds weak, it sounds boring, it sounds crushed, it sounds wrong, it sounds amateur, it sounds like so many things that this previous song was not. So I encourage you to play around with this and try to understand this a little bit more. If you want to be loud on streaming, it is not about crushing your song to oblivion and reducing the dynamic range and taking all of the life out of your song. You can have it all. It's about understanding the loudness algorithm. Let's go to the next module, Streaming Preview. Now this is how you can actually hear exactly how your song will sound on streaming. They have different options. They have Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube. I like to just do Spotify, very high quality. That's where most people listen to their music on. Spotify is what it is. All you have to do is click render. We do that and you see how it turned the song down a little bit. Now this is the -14 one. It turned it down just a little bit. So if I undo that and go back, you see just a little bit and then come back, right? Just a little bit. Now let's go to the -12 and render that one. Turn this one down a lot more, interestingly enough. -14, -12, -14, -12. Fascinating. Let's go to -10. Wow, -12, -10. As you can see, -12, we still got some rich peaks and dynamics in this one. As we get to -10, it's feeling a little condensed, but there's still some of that in there. We're still good for the most part. As you see, -14 is just wide open. Now let's go to -8, pretty down there. Wow, look at that. -10 versus -8. Way lower. Look at -14 versus -8. What? This is crazy. But also look at the intro as well. How the intro on -8 is much louder because again, we had to reduce the dynamic range, which means the louder parts have to come closer to the lower parts. So the intro gets brought up in volume, but everything that was louder in the song gets brought down in volume. So it's more condensed. So how the intro in the beginning is louder on the 8 LUFS, but in the 14 LUFS, it's lower a little bit, right? So you see how our dynamic range has had to take a hit in order to get this song loud. Now let's go to -6. Look at this intro compared to, this is completely wild. Look at -6 to -14. All right, now -8. See, -8 is still bringing back some dynamics, but it's still sausagey. This is what is going on with your songs. As you see, you don't have to give up your dynamics and your punch and your transients anymore. You can keep all of that because it's generally going to play back on the same volume based on LUFS, but actually how we perceive it, we're going to perceive this -12, -10 mix louder than -8 and -6 in this case, and just better, more exciting, more listenable. Now, obviously the streaming algorithm is not perfect. The arrangement of the song will play the biggest part in how loud you can get your song to be played back on streaming. If it's a ballad, you can get that to play back on streaming louder than say an EDM song or some kind of bass heavy song in general. Maybe I'll make a part 2 about perceived loudness and this will become a series or something. Let me know if y'all want that in the comments. But using this tool eliminates you having to guess, having to gamble on, I hope this is the right loudness level so that it sounds good and plays back good on streaming. You don't have to guess anymore. They have tools now for us to figure out what is it going to sound like exactly on streaming. This is something you should definitely do before you release your songs. And before you say, oh well, we just need to get everybody to turn loudness normalization off. Let's do some research real quick. What percentage of people use streaming loudness normalization? Approximately 95% of people using streaming services have their audio normalized because it is enabled by default. I'm willing to bet the 5% of people that don't have this on make music because we're the only ones that care about it. Your mom doesn't know what the loudness war is. She just likes the songs that she likes. She likes the artists that she likes. That's it. Only we care about this stuff. There used to be an argument for the loudness war. People were listening to songs in a way where if you smash your song, it seems louder and potentially better than other songs. But as I've just shown you, it's not the case anymore. You're really just hurting yourself if you're still doing that. You're fighting in the old loudness war and a new one has began. The new one is not about smashing your songs to oblivion anymore. This is good for you because you can now keep your transients and your dynamics intact and you can make beautiful, impactful, amazing, emotional music. You don't have to trade emotion and dynamic range for loudness anymore. Streaming has redefined what competitive loudness is and iZotope has given you the tools to understand it. If your song is mostly going to be listened to on streaming and you really care about loudness, this is a must so you can maximize your loudness on streaming. But I recommend focusing on other things that put more points on the scoreboard than loudness, like your song actually being great. That's something to do a deep dive on, but what do I know? I'll put some videos in the description that go more in depth on this topic for you to check out.